Oh, what? So as the years go by and as technology begins to advance, we begin to realize how amazing companies are coming out with such incredible tools to help us make masterpieces. There is so much you can achieve with just a camera and lens. Paired with a gimbal, and your options will become almost limitless. The new FeiyuTech G6 Max is a 3-in-1 gimbal that is super lightweight and compact, so it can support your smartphone, action camera, or small mirrorless cameras with a total payload of 1.2 kilos, which happens to be that much. But before we proceed into this video, I was sent this by FeiyuTech, but this is a completely independent review and my own opinion on how this thing performs. I was super happy with the G6 Plus, but this upgrade definitely is something special. So I've been wanting a small and powerful gimbal to suit my A6000 and A6300 cameras, as the G6 Plus and my other gimbals have been just a little bit too small of a payload. Others have just been literally too big and just suit more of my A7 III setup, like this, as opposed to this. Look at the difference. That's crazy. Wow. So if you are after a powerful gimbal that fits pretty much into your travel bag, then this might actually be the perfect gimbal for you. It has the ability to lock the gimbal into place with ease. This makes it super convenient as it protects the gimbal from moving around and potentially destroying it. As content creators, we need gimbals that are quite compact, yet as powerful as possible. With large lenses like the 16mm 1.4, we require that extra power. Some people really underestimate the power of having a gimbal. This can allow you to get some smooth, super cinematic shots and just really focusing on like perfect framing and composition while utilizing some incredible cinematic movements. So anyway, let's see what comes in the box. So there's a nice foam box case thing. It has a tripod base for attaching at the bottom and comes with the standard GoPro action camera finger knuckle and a smartphone adjustable clamp. And it's got a couple of cords that you can attach your camera into the gimbal. So let's dive into the specs, see what this thing has. The FeiyuTech G6 Max only weighs a total of 665 grams on its own and has a decent battery life of about 9 hours. So it all depends on what kind of camera you have and the weight of it and pretty much how you use it. The front has an innovative OLED screen which displays specifications of the gimbal, the camera, working modes, batteries, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth connection. Another great feature is that it has your standard USB-C charging port for decent charge time of about 3 hours. If you are looking to attach a monitor onto it, it's great because it's got 2 1/4 screw mounts on either side of the gimbal, so you can attach that small monitor on the side or even your phone. You can even get a separate mount where you can attach it underneath the FeiyuTech gimbal and then you can hold it double hand. It's up to you how you want to actually have that. And just underneath there is the control wheel, which you can control various functions such as focus, zoom, tilt, and more. So the FeiyuTech G6 Max has 4 different modes. There is a horizontal follow, so it locks the tilt axis and you're able to pan. The lock mode, where it locks all axes and stays in one particular direction. There is tilt follow, where you're able to utilize the pan and the tilt option. And lastly, all follow, which gives you all access to the pan, tilt, and roll axes. So dare I say it, you could actually use this as a vlogging setup. Now I have the G6 Max with A6300 on top paired with the Sigma 16 1.4. So it is a relatively big lens for the Sony APS-C range. I do have a Rode Video Micro, as you can see by my A7 III there. I could probably put my Rode Video Mic Pro Plus, just adds extra weight. So you want to try and keep the weight down as best as possible. So realistically, I could probably chuck this 16-50 kit lens on this and it'll make it even lighter which can actually make it a really decent vlogging setup. It all comes down to the individual strength and what you can handle with your shoulder. So a lot of people tend to use the Joby Gorilla Pod for vlogging, but it is a lot more shakier. You know, this is the gimbal itself, so it is nice and steady. You can actually use your thumb, if you can see by this angle, for the tilt control. So if you do want to hold it higher, come down on top, or hold it lower, yeah, it's really up to you how you actually want to hold this. But it seems like a pretty decent setup for vlogging. So all you need to do is 1, 2, 3, triple tap that trigger button, tap it twice, and it goes back to the front. So that actually works quite well if you are doing 1, 2, 3, like a quick vlogging scenario. Boom, straight into vlogging. 1, 2, boom, straight into cinematic videoing if you want. So it seems to handle the A6300 and APS-C range quite well. It handles the A7 III surprisingly well. So this is the A7 III with the kit lens 28-70, 3.5 to 5.6, and it actually handles it quite well. Double tap to start. It's quite responsive. Obviously, it's probably more of an APS-C sized setup. Having a full frame range, you probably wouldn't go any heavier than your standard kit lens, but surprisingly, it handles it okay. So if you did want to get out of some situations where you only had this gimbal and you just needed to quickly throw your A7 III on there or something similar, you still can, which is great. Look, the only problems you will have when you do want to use the A7 III is if you do want to use the inception mode, you're going to have bottoming out issues there. So it will hit on the edge because the A7 III is too tall. It is more designed for the APS-C cameras and below. This is only if you just want to get out of a tough situation and you just quickly need a gimbal. No fancy inception modes, no portrait modes, no, fancy modes. Just the basic gimbal, nice steady shots. You can still get away with it. I really, really like this gimbal. The link is in the description below if you do want to check it out. Other than that, guys, I hope you found this useful. My name's Jason Morris, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, let's get it.